Today, I want to talk about a concept that is both simple and profound: unlocking your limitations. We all carry beliefs about what we can and cannot do, and often those beliefs are rooted in fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of stepping into the unknown. These fears create a self-imposed prison, trapping us in a narrative that limits our potential and stifles our growth. To unlock our limitations, we first need to confront the stories we tell ourselves. What narratives are running in the background of your mind? Are they empowering or disempowering? The truth is, we often internalize messages from our upbringing, our culture, and our experiences that tell us we're not enough or that we don't belong. But here's the reality: those limitations are not truths, they are stories. And like any story, they can be rewritten. Embracing vulnerability is a crucial step in this process. It's about showing up, being seen, and taking risks even when we're scared. Vulnerability isn't a weakness, it's the birthplace of creativity, innovation, and change. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we create space for growth. We start to realize that failure is not the end, it's merely a stepping stone on our journey. Each time we stumble, we gain valuable lessons that propel us forward. The journey toward unlocking our limitations begins with a deep and honest examination of the narratives we hold about ourselves. These narratives, shaped by our experiences, upbringing, and societal influences, often act as the lens through which we view our capabilities and potential. Understanding and confronting these stories is essential for personal growth and self-discovery. From a young age, we start to absorb messages about ourselves and the world around us. These messages can come from various sources: our families, schools, peers, and the media. They might praise our abilities, reinforce our confidence, or conversely instill doubt and fear. Over time, we internalize these messages, creating a framework for how we see ourselves and what we believe we can achieve. For example, if you were often told that you weren't good at math, you might grow up believing that you'll always struggle with numbers, limiting your choices and opportunities in fields where math skills are essential. These internalized beliefs are powerful, often functioning in the background of our minds without us even realizing it. They can dictate our decisions, influence our relationships, and shape our overall worldview. When we allow these narratives to go unexamined, they can create self-fulfilling prophecies. If we believe we are incapable of achieving a certain goal, we may not even attempt to pursue it, thus confirming our belief in our limitations. To start the process of confronting these narratives, we must first become aware of them. This awareness often requires deep self-reflection. Journaling can be an effective tool for this. By writing down our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, we can start to identify patterns in our thinking. What do you tell yourself when faced with a challenge? Do you find yourself saying things like, "I can't do this," or "I'm not enough"? Such statements are clues to the limiting beliefs we hold. Once we identify these narratives, the next step is to question their validity. Are they based on facts, or are they merely assumptions or interpretations? Engaging in this critical examination allows us to see how often these narratives are exaggerated or unfounded. For instance, if you have a fear of public speaking and believe you will embarrass yourself, consider the last time you spoke in front of others. What actually happened? Were you as terrible as you imagined, or did you perform better than expected? Often we find that our fears and limitations are inflated in our minds. Challenging these narratives can be uncomfortable, as it forces us to confront deeply ingrained beliefs. However, it is also liberating. When we question the validity of our self-imposed limitations, we open ourselves up to new possibilities. It becomes a transformative process, shifting our mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance. Instead of thinking, "I can't do this," we start to embrace the idea that I can learn and grow. After challenging our limiting narratives, we can begin to rewrite them. This involves creating new, empowering beliefs that reflect our true potential. For example, instead of saying, "I'm terrible at public speaking," we can replace it with, "I am improving my public speaking skills. With each opportunity I take, this shift in language can significantly alter how we view ourselves and our capabilities." It's important to note that rewriting narratives is not a one-time event, it is a continual practice. Each day presents opportunities to reinforce new beliefs and challenge old ones. Surrounding ourselves with positive influences can support this process. Engage with people who uplift you, challenge you, and see your potential. Their belief in you can help reinforce your new narratives and provide a counterbalance to self-doubt. Additionally, seeking feedback can be a valuable way to test and reshape our narratives. Engaging in conversations with trusted friends, mentors, or colleagues can provide new perspectives on our abilities and strengths. They may see qualities in you that you overlook or undervalue. Their insights can serve as a mirror, reflecting back the truth of your potential and helping you to reshape your story. The process of confronting and rewriting our narratives is not just about overcoming limitations, it's about embracing our authenticity. It's about stepping into a version of ourselves that is aligned with our values and aspirations. This journey fosters self-compassion and resilience, allowing us to face challenges with a newfound sense of confidence. As we navigate this process, we must also recognize that setbacks are a natural part of growth. There will be moments when old narratives resurface, attempting to pull us back into limiting beliefs. In these instances, it's crucial to practice self-compassion. Acknowledge the feelings that arise without judgment and remind yourself that progress is not linear. Each setback can provide valuable lessons, contributing to our growth and understanding. In summary, unlocking our limitations begins with confronting the narratives that shape our beliefs about ourselves. By becoming aware of these stories, challenging their validity, and rewriting them, we can free ourselves from the constraints they impose. This process empowers us to step into our potential, fostering a sense of agency and possibility. It allows us to embrace vulnerability, take risks, and ultimately live a life that is authentic and fulfilling. Embracing vulnerability is a transformative journey that challenges our perceptions of strength and weakness. It requires us to step into the uncomfortable spaces of uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure, all of which are vital for personal growth and genuine connection with others. While society often equates vulnerability with fragility, the truth is that vulnerability is the cornerstone of courage, creativity, and authentic living. To understand vulnerability, we first need to recognize its multifaceted nature. Vulnerability isn't just about sharing our deepest fears or insecurities, it's about being open to experiences and the potential for emotional exposure. It's the willingness to put ourselves out there, whether it's expressing our true feelings, pursuing a new opportunity, or sharing our creative endeavors. In doing so, we allow ourselves to be seen, imperfections and all. Many of us are conditioned to believe that vulnerability is synonymous with weakness. We've been taught to hide our flaws, mask our emotions, and present a facade of confidence and competence. This conditioning stems from various influences, cultural norms, societal expectations, and personal experiences that teach us to equate vulnerability with shame or inadequacy. However, by viewing vulnerability in this way, we limit our capacity for authentic relationships and personal growth. When we shield ourselves from vulnerability, we also shield ourselves from meaningful connections. Authentic relationships are built on trust, openness, and empathy. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we create a safe space for others to do the same. Sharing our struggles, fears, and uncertainties fosters a sense of belonging and deepens our connections with others. It's through vulnerability that we find common ground, allowing us to see that we are not alone in our experiences. This shared humanity is the foundation of empathy and compassion. Embracing vulnerability opens the door to creativity and innovation. When we take risks and expose ourselves to the possibility of failure, we create an environment where new ideas can flourish. Many of the most successful artists, entrepreneurs, and leaders attribute their achievements to their willingness to be vulnerable. They understand that taking bold steps often involves uncertainty and the potential for criticism. By embracing this uncertainty, they cultivate resilience and adaptability, allowing them to navigate challenges with grace. Consider the creative process. Artists often face rejection, criticism, and self-doubt. Yet it is through their willingness to share their work flaws and all that they invite feedback and foster growth. Each rejection becomes a lesson, each critique an opportunity for improvement. This cycle of vulnerability and resilience enables them to refine their craft and push the boundaries of their creativity. However, embracing vulnerability doesn't mean we have to share everything with everyone. It's about discerning when and with whom to be vulnerable. Setting boundaries is essential in this process. Vulnerability is most powerful when it occurs in safe and supportive environments. It's about finding the right people who will respect your openness and respond with empathy. Cultivating such relationships is crucial to creating a community where vulnerability is not only accepted but celebrated. It's also important to acknowledge that vulnerability can be scary. Fear of judgment, rejection, or failure often holds us back from fully embracing it. These fears are deeply rooted and can be difficult to navigate. However, recognizing that fear is a natural response to vulnerability can help us reframe our mindset. Instead of allowing fear to paralyze us, we can choose to lean into it. By acknowledging our fears, we take away some of their power. Instead of viewing fear as a barrier, we can see it as a signal that we are about to step into something meaningful. Additionally, practicing self-compassion is essential as we embrace vulnerability. It's important to be kind to ourselves as we navigate the complexities of emotional exposure. Self-compassion allows us to accept our imperfections and reminds us that we are deserving of love and connection, regardless of our flaws. When we approach ourselves with compassion, we build resilience against the discomfort that often accompanies vulnerability. In professional settings, embracing vulnerability can lead to stronger leadership and collaboration. Leaders who model vulnerability create a culture of openness and trust. They demonstrate that it's okay to ask for help, acknowledge mistakes, and share their uncertainties. This not only fosters an environment where team members feel safe to express their ideas and concerns, but it also encourages innovation and creativity. When employees feel empowered to be vulnerable, they are more likely to contribute authentically, resulting in a more engaged and motivated workforce. Embracing vulnerability is about stepping into our authenticity. It's about recognizing that our imperfections are not our weaknesses, they are part of what makes us human. By allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, we can cultivate deeper connections, unlock our creativity, and lead lives that are rich in meaning and purpose. It's a courageous act that invites us to explore the depths of our emotions and embrace our true selves. The journey toward embracing vulnerability may not always be easy, but it is profoundly rewarding. Each step we take toward vulnerability is a step toward a more fulfilling and authentic life. It empowers us to show up fully in our relationships, our work, and our creative pursuits. As we embrace our vulnerability, we unlock a world of possibilities, resilience, and connection that enriches our lives and the lives of those around us. Cultivating courage is an essential component of unlocking our limitations and living a life that aligns with our true potential. Courage is not the absence of fear, rather, it is the ability to act in spite of fear. It involves stepping outside our comfort zones, confronting challenges head-on, and embracing the discomfort that often accompanies growth. In a world that often discourages vulnerability and risk-taking, cultivating courage becomes a transformative practice that empowers us to challenge our limits and pursue our dreams. At its core, courage requires self-awareness. It asks us to recognize the fears that hold us back and to confront the stories we tell ourselves about our capabilities. Many of us are conditioned to avoid discomfort and seek safety at all costs. This instinctual response to fear is deeply rooted in our biology. Our brains are wired to protect us from danger, leading us to avoid situations that might challenge our self-image or lead to failure. However, while this instinct can be beneficial in certain contexts, it can also prevent us from reaching our full potential. To cultivate courage, we must first acknowledge our fears. This process often involves identifying the specific fears that arise when we consider stepping out of our comfort zones. Are we afraid of failure? Rejection? Criticism? The unknown? By naming our fears, we can begin to disentangle them from our identities. Rather than allowing these fears to define us, we can recognize them as experiences we encounter on our journey toward growth. Once we have identified our fears, we can start to challenge them. This requires a shift in mindset, a recognition that fear is not an enemy to be defeated, but a natural part of the human experience. Rather than allowing fear to paralyze us, we can choose to embrace it. When we confront our fears, we open ourselves up to new opportunities and experiences. Instead of asking ourselves, what if I fail, we can reframe the question to, what if I succeed? This shift in perspective empowers us to view challenges as opportunities for growth rather than threats to our self-worth. One effective strategy for cultivating courage is to start small. We don't need to leap into the deep end immediately. Instead, we can take incremental steps toward facing our fears. For example, if public speaking terrifies you, begin by sharing your thoughts in a small group or with a trusted friend. As you gain confidence in these smaller settings, you can gradually increase the stakes. This gradual exposure helps desensitize us to fear and builds our resilience over time. It's also crucial to cultivate a growth mindset as we work on developing courage. A growth mindset embraces the idea that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and learning. When we adopt this perspective, we view challenges as opportunities to grow rather than as reflections of our inadequacies. This mindset allows us to see failure not as a dead end, but as a stepping stone on the path to success. Each setback becomes a lesson, each stumble an opportunity for growth. Support from others plays a vital role in cultivating courage as well. Surrounding ourselves with individuals who encourage us to take risks and step outside our comfort zones can significantly bolster our confidence. When we share our fears with supportive friends or mentors, we often find that we are not alone in our struggles. Their encouragement can serve as a powerful reminder that vulnerability is not a weakness but a shared human experience. These connections help create a safety net that allows us to take risks and explore new possibilities. Embracing vulnerability within our support systems fosters an environment where courage can thrive. When we create spaces where it's safe to share our fears and aspirations, we invite others to do the same. This collective vulnerability strengthens our relationships and cultivates a culture of courage. In such environments, we learn from one another's experiences, gaining insights and inspiration that propel us forward. Another essential aspect of cultivating courage is the practice of self-compassion. As we confront our fears and take risks, it's crucial to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding. The journey toward courage is not always smooth. We will face setbacks, make mistakes, and encounter challenges along the way. When we practice self-compassion, We allow ourselves to acknowledge our struggles without judgment. This compassionate approach helps us bounce back from setbacks and continue pursuing our goals with renewed determination. Cultivating courage is not a one-time effort but an ongoing practice. Each day presents new opportunities to confront our fears and challenge our limitations. By consistently pushing our boundaries and stepping into discomfort, we gradually expand our comfort zones. This practice builds resilience and strengthens our capacity for courage, enabling us to tackle increasingly significant challenges as we grow. As we develop our courage, we also become more attuned to our values and passions. When we confront our fears and take risks, we often gain clarity about what truly matters to us. This newfound awareness allows us to align our actions with our values, creating a more meaningful and fulfilling life. When we act in accordance with our values, we become more authentic, courageous individuals who inspire others to do the same. In a world that often prioritizes conformity and safety, cultivating courage is a radical act. It requires us to challenge societal norms and embrace our uniqueness. It encourages us to step into the unknown, take risks, and pursue our passions with unwavering determination. By cultivating courage, we unlock our limitations and open ourselves to a world of possibilities, leading us toward lives that are richer, more authentic, and deeply fulfilling. Fostering connection and support is a crucial element in unlocking our limitations and living a more fulfilling life. Human beings are inherently social creatures, wired for connection and community. Our relationships significantly influence our sense of belonging, self-worth, and capacity for growth. When we cultivate supportive connections, we create an environment that encourages vulnerability, courage, and personal development, allowing us to break free from the limitations we impose on ourselves. To begin with, the importance of connection cannot be overstated. Research consistently shows that strong social ties contribute to our overall well-being, mental health, and resilience. When we feel connected to others, we are more likely to take risks, pursue our goals, and embrace vulnerability. The sense of belonging that arises from supportive relationships fosters confidence and helps us confront our fears and limitations. This support acts as a buffer against the challenges we face, providing a safety net that encourages us to explore new possibilities. Building these connections often starts with cultivating relationships based on trust and mutual understanding. Trust is the foundation of any meaningful connection. When we trust others, we feel safe to share our fears, aspirations, and vulnerabilities. This openness paves the way for deeper conversations and strengthens the bonds between us. To foster trust, it's essential to practice active listening and empathy. When we genuinely listen to others, we demonstrate that we value their experiences and perspectives. This validation fosters a sense of safety, encouraging them to share their own struggles and dreams. Authenticity is key in creating meaningful connections. When we show up as our true selves, we invite others to do the same. This authenticity allows for deeper, more genuine interactions, which can be incredibly liberating. By embracing our imperfections and sharing our vulnerabilities, we create a culture of openness where others feel comfortable doing the same. This exchange fosters mutual support, enabling us to learn from one another and grow together. While nurturing existing relationships is vital, it's equally important to seek out new connections. Expanding our social circles can introduce us to diverse perspectives, ideas, and experiences that challenge our limitations. Engaging with new people can provide fresh insights and opportunities for growth, often leading to unexpected collaborations and friendships. Attending workshops, community events, or networking gatherings can be excellent ways to meet new individuals who share similar interests or passions. These interactions can serve as catalysts for personal and professional development. As we cultivate connections, we should also be mindful of the quality of our relationships. Not all connections are beneficial. Some may drain our energy or reinforce negative beliefs. It's essential to evaluate the relationships in our lives and identify those that uplift and inspire us. Surrounding ourselves with people who encourage us to step outside our comfort zones and embrace vulnerability is crucial for unlocking our limitations. These individuals serve as cheerleaders, providing support and motivation when we face challenges. To personal connections, fostering a sense of community is also essential. Engaging with groups or organizations that align with our values and interests can create a sense of belonging that enhances our overall well-being. Whether it's joining a local club, volunteering for a cause, or participating in online communities, these activities allow us to connect with like-minded individuals who share our passions. The collective energy of such groups can be incredibly empowering, inspiring us to take risks and explore new possibilities. Sharing our journeys with others can foster connection and support. When we open up about our struggles and successes, we create a space for others to do the same. This exchange of experiences builds empathy and understanding, allowing us to relate to one another on a deeper level. Whether through informal conversations, mentorship, or structured support groups, sharing our stories helps normalize the challenges we face and reinforces the idea that we are not alone in our struggles. Practicing vulnerability within our connections can also lead to profound personal growth. When we allow ourselves to be seen imperfections and all we invite others to support us in our journey. This support can take many forms, from offering encouragement during difficult times to celebrating our achievements. Such interactions create a dynamic of mutual upliftment, where everyone involved benefits from the shared experience of vulnerability. As we cultivate connections, we must also be willing to extend support to others. Being there for friends, family, or colleagues fosters a culture of reciprocity and strengthens our relationships. Acts of kindness, encouragement, and understanding not only reinforce our connections, but also enrich our own lives. When we support others in their journeys, we cultivate a sense of purpose and fulfillment that transcends our individual challenges. In professional settings, fostering connection and support is equally vital. Building strong relationships with colleagues can enhance collaboration, creativity, and productivity. When team members feel connected and supported, they are more likely to take risks, share ideas, and contribute authentically. This collaborative spirit not only leads to better outcomes, but also creates a positive workplace culture where everyone thrives. Fostering connection and support requires ongoing effort and intention. It's essential to prioritize relationships and invest time and energy into nurturing them. Regular check-ins, meaningful conversations, and shared experiences can strengthen the bonds we share with others. By consciously cultivating connections, we create a network of support that empowers us to unlock our limitations and pursue our dreams. In summary, fostering connection and support is a vital aspect of unlocking our limitations and living authentically. By building relationships rooted in trust, empathy, and authenticity, we create an environment that encourages vulnerability, courage, and personal growth. As we engage with others, we expand our perspectives and learn from shared experiences, enriching our lives and the lives of those around us. Ultimately, the connections we cultivate serve as a powerful reminder that we are not alone on this journey, and together we can overcome our limitations and thrive. Celebrating small progress is an essential practice that significantly contributes to unlocking our limitations and fostering a growth-oriented mindset. In a world that often prioritizes results and achievements, it's easy to overlook the incremental steps we take toward our goals. However, recognizing and celebrating these small victories can be a powerful motivator, reinforcing our commitment to growth and helping us maintain a positive outlook on our journey. The process of personal growth is rarely linear. It is filled with ups and downs, moments of success and setbacks, and periods of rapid progress followed by times of stagnation. Amid this complexity, small progress becomes the bedrock upon which we build our larger accomplishments. By acknowledging these small wins, we create a sense of momentum that propels us forward, even during challenging times. One of the reasons celebrating small progress is so vital is that it helps shift our focus from outcomes to the process. When we fixate solely on the end goal, we can become overwhelmed by the enormity of what we want to achieve. This overwhelming feeling can lead to discouragement, especially if progress seems slow or if we encounter obstacles along the way. By consciously choosing to celebrate the small steps we take, we redirect our attention to the effort and dedication that lead to meaningful growth. This shift in perspective fosters resilience, allowing us to embrace the journey rather than becoming fixated on the destination. For instance, if someone is working toward a fitness goal, they might become discouraged if they don't see immediate results on the scale. However, by celebrating small progress, such as completing a certain number of workouts each week, increasing stamina, or adopting healthier eating habits, they can maintain motivation and recognize the valuable steps they are taking. Each small victory reinforces the idea that they are moving in the right direction, helping to sustain their commitment to their larger goal. Celebrating small progress also nurtures a sense of self-efficacy. When we acknowledge our achievements, no matter how minor, we reinforce our belief in our capabilities. This enhanced self-efficacy fosters a positive feedback loop. The more we celebrate our successes, the more motivated we become to continue pursuing our goals. This momentum fuels our willingness to take risks and step outside our comfort zones, ultimately unlocking our potential and enabling us to challenge our limitations. Moreover, celebrating small progress can help combat negative self-talk and self-doubt. Many individuals struggle with imposter syndrome or feelings of inadequacy, particularly when pursuing ambitious goals. Acknowledging small achievements allows us to counteract these negative thoughts with tangible evidence of our progress. Each time we celebrate a small victory, we affirm our abilities and resilience, gradually shifting our internal narrative from one of self-doubt to one of empowerment. The act of celebration itself can take many forms, and it's important to find what resonates with you. Celebrating small progress doesn't have to be extravagant or formal. It can be as simple as pausing to acknowledge a job well done, treating yourself to something enjoyable, or sharing your successes with supportive friends or family members. The key is to create a ritual or practice that allows you to recognize and honor your efforts consistently. Another powerful aspect of celebrating small progress is the opportunity for reflection it provides. Taking the time to acknowledge what we've achieved allows us to reflect on our journey, recognize the challenges we've overcome, and appreciate the lessons learned along the way. This reflection deepens our understanding of our growth and helps us identify the strategies and practices that have contributed to our success. By cultivating this awareness, we become better equipped to navigate future challenges and setbacks. Celebrating small progress encourages a culture of gratitude. When we take the time to acknowledge our achievements, we cultivate a mindset of appreciation for the efforts we have put forth. This gratitude extends beyond ourselves. It encourages us to recognize the support and contributions of others who have been part of our journey. By expressing gratitude to those who have encouraged and supported us, we strengthen our connections and reinforce the importance of community in our pursuit of growth. Celebrating small progress can be particularly beneficial in professional settings. In workplaces where employees feel overwhelmed by ambitious targets and deadlines, recognizing and celebrating incremental achievements can boost morale and foster a sense of teamwork. Encouraging teams to celebrate small wins creates an environment where individuals feel valued for their contributions, enhancing overall job satisfaction and motivation. This positive culture encourages employees to take risks, collaborate, and innovate, ultimately driving success for the organization as a whole. As we cultivate the practice of celebrating small progress, it's important to remember that everyone's journey is unique. What may seem like a small achievement for one person could be a monumental step for another. Therefore, it's essential to honor our individual paths and avoid comparing our progress to that of others. Each person has their timeline, and recognizing our unique journeys allows us to celebrate authentically without falling into the trap of comparison. At its core, self-compassion involves three fundamental components: self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness. Self-kindness is about being gentle and understanding with ourselves, particularly during times of struggle or failure. Instead of harshly judging ourselves for our perceived shortcomings, we can choose to respond with kindness and support. This shift in perspective is vital for our emotional health, as it allows us to acknowledge our feelings without becoming overwhelmed by them. For instance, if we encounter a setback at work or face a personal challenge, practicing self-kindness means recognizing that it's okay to feel disappointed or frustrated. Rather than berating ourselves for not meeting expectations, we can offer ourselves compassion, acknowledging that everyone experiences difficulties and setbacks. The second component, common humanity, reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles. It is easy to fall into the trap of thinking that we are the only ones facing challenges or making mistakes. However, recognizing that suffering and imperfection are part of the shared human experience fosters a sense of connection with others. When we understand that everyone faces difficulties, we can cultivate empathy for ourselves and others. This realization alleviates feelings of isolation and shame, allowing us to approach our experiences with a greater sense of acceptance. By embracing our shared humanity, we create a foundation for compassion that strengthens our relationships with ourselves and others. Mindfulness, the third component of self-compassion, involves maintaining a balanced awareness of our thoughts and feelings without over-identifying with them. Mindfulness encourages us to observe our experiences without judgment, allowing us to acknowledge our emotions without becoming consumed by them. This practice helps us create a space between ourselves and our thoughts, enabling us to respond to our challenges with clarity and compassion. Instead of spiraling into self-criticism or negative self-talk, we can approach our experiences with curiosity and understanding, fostering an environment where growth and healing can flourish. One of the most significant benefits of embracing self-compassion is its impact on our emotional resilience. Life is inherently filled with ups and downs, and setbacks are an inevitable part of the journey. When we cultivate self-compassion, we equip ourselves with the tools to navigate these challenges with grace. Rather than allowing failures to define us, self-compassion encourages us to view setbacks as opportunities for growth. This shift in perspective fosters resilience, enabling us to bounce back from adversity and continue pursuing our goals with renewed determination. Self-compassion can significantly reduce anxiety and depression. Research has shown that individuals who practice self-compassion experience lower levels of negative emotions and greater overall well-being. When we treat ourselves with kindness during difficult times, we create a buffer against the harsh judgments that can exacerbate feelings of inadequacy and despair. This compassionate approach promotes a healthier relationship with ourselves, allowing us to approach our emotions with acceptance rather than avoidance. In addition to enhancing emotional well-being, self-compassion fosters a growth mindset. A growth mindset embraces the idea that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and learning. When we practice self-compassion, we become more open to feedback and learning opportunities. Instead of fearing failure or criticism, we view challenges as valuable experiences that contribute to our growth. This mindset encourages us to take risks, step outside our comfort zones, and embrace new opportunities for personal and professional development. Self-compassion also plays a vital role in fostering healthier relationships with others. When we cultivate compassion for ourselves, we become more empathetic and understanding toward those around us. As we learn to be kinder to ourselves, we naturally extend that kindness to others. This ripple effect creates a culture of compassion, where individuals feel valued and supported in their journeys. Healthy relationships thrive in environments of mutual understanding and acceptance, reinforcing the idea that we are all in this together. To actively embrace self-compassion, we can incorporate various practices into our daily lives. One effective approach is the practice of self-compassionate meditation, which involves reflecting on our experiences with kindness and understanding. By setting aside time to focus on our feelings, we can develop a deeper connection with ourselves and foster a sense of inner peace. Journaling can also be a powerful tool for cultivating self-compassion. Writing about our struggles, successes, and feelings allows us to process our experiences and acknowledge our emotions without judgment. Another valuable practice is to develop self-compassionate affirmations. These affirmations remind us of our worth and the importance of treating ourselves with kindness. Phrases such as "I am enough" or "It's okay to make mistakes" serve as powerful reminders that we are deserving of love and understanding, regardless of our imperfections. Incorporating these affirmations into our daily routines can gradually shift our mindset, reinforcing the practice of self-compassion. Seeking support from others can enhance our self-compassion journey. Surrounding ourselves with individuals who promote a culture of kindness and understanding creates an environment where self-compassion can thrive. Engaging in conversations about our struggles and challenges fosters connection and reinforces the idea that we are not alone in our experiences. These supportive relationships provide a foundation for growth and resilience, allowing us to navigate life's ups and downs with greater ease. In embracing self-compassion, we unlock the door to a more fulfilling and authentic life. By treating ourselves with kindness, recognizing our shared humanity, and practicing mindfulness, we cultivate resilience, enhance our emotional well-being, and foster healthier relationships. This journey towards self-compassion empowers us to break free from the limitations we impose on ourselves, allowing us to pursue our dreams with confidence and authenticity. As we learn to embrace our imperfections and celebrate our unique journeys, we create a life rich in meaning, connection, and personal growth.